The geography of that particular area, having all of these vast salt caverns that could be debrined of the salt and making room for the hydrogen storage, just made it a perfect location for building what is, I believe, the largest in the United States of this size, hydrogen generation facility of this size.
Yeah.
So really exciting.
Pretty impressive.
That. Yeah.
The world of energy and the technology shaping it. I'm Josh Tate, and this is Between Two Turbines. Powered by NAES. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
I was looking a bit at your history at NAES, and you started before I was born, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was born in 93, and you came in 91?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear kind of your time at NAES coming in, and obviously the progression over the years, but what was it like back in 91 when you got on board here?
Wow, a lot different than it is today, for sure. A much smaller company.
More grunge rock going around, Nirvana, all those kind of things.
A little bit that. You know, the interesting thing, though, is we all wore a suit and tie. Everybody wore a suit and tie every day to the office.
Yeah, that's
a lot more casual today.
A lot more Patagonia going around.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, when I first started out and stuff, I'd come from working as a civilian employee of the Navy over at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. And because of that Navy experience, I was actually interviewed for this job here with NAES. If I didn't have that background and stuff, I never would have been.
Yeah. What's the connection like for you? I think there is a lot of military presence at NAES, but, working at the shipyard, I'm from Kitsap County, so definitely got a lot of friends and family in the shipyard as well. What was that transition like?
Yeah, I transitioned first from that role and stuff, and I went back to school and got a business degree at University of Washington. So that made the transition a little bit easier and moved over to the Seattle side from Bremerton.
Yeah.
Jim Fitzpatrick was a previous employee here and stuff, and he actually turned me on to NAES. He'd gotten a job at NAES about 6 months previous to that. And so he told me about a particular opening. And at the time, all the senior management of NAES was military, and not just military, but Navy and nuclear Navy. So I interviewed.
Has it shaped the culture, do you think?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. They were all about verbatim compliance, and that was part of Rickover's nuclear Navy.
Right.
So yeah, very much so.
You'd want that in the power industry,
you did.
I imagine.
Yeah. And I think, that was kind of a mark of NAES and stuff, that we were going to do what we said we were going to do.
Right.
And we were going to follow procedures, and we were going to operate, plants safely and reliably.
Right. Do you feel like that through the years has been a common thread?
It has been. Yeah, I think we've maintained that even as we've diversified away from just hiring Navy personnel. So yeah, my first bosses were all admirals, basically commodores and admirals and captains.
Yeah.
Nothing lower than that.
Sure. I can see why suit and tie might have been a little more, what
they're
was
very,
expected.
very formal, very formal.
Yeah. And now, I think for me growing up, Seattle is very West Coast in a lot of ways. It's it can be laid back. We have the vests, the Patagonia vests that we're famous for. I think that's kind of leaked into NAES a little bit too.
It has.
You enjoy the change, a little more laid back?
I do. Yeah. I learned a lot and stuff working into that kind of culture and then evolving into the culture that we have today. But it is a little more relaxed than it was previously, for sure.
I wonder kind of when Microsoft was coming up, and I'm sure some of that talent's filtered in over here as well, and the way that culture, the tech bros and all of those things have really infiltrated the culture of Seattle. What's that like for you? You've been in the area for a while. I've enjoyed the changes quite a lot. I sure like getting one-day shipping from Amazon.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I think about some of those things, and it's a cool place, and NAES is kind of along for that ride.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it as well.
Talking about some of the technologies that you oversee, it ranges quite a bit. You know, there's the combined cycle, there's wind, and even this hydrogen project. But tell me a bit of that portfolio, and you know, there's a lot of complexity in there. But what's that like for you as the leader of some of these different plants?
To me, it makes the job, or keeps the job interesting.
Yeah.
So I love the diversity and stuff, and the technologies and diversity and the type of clients that we have.
Right.
So it's been great. And over the years and stuff, I started out mostly in, well, you know, you're talking about back in 1991 when I joined and stuff, we only had 6 projects under contract at the time. And they were all either biomass wood plants. Mm-hmm. Those were our first 2 facilities that we had, Bernie and Westwood down in California, and then gas turbine combined cycle plants.
Yeah.
That's all we had for technology, just those two different technologies.
I mean, we've just exploded since then.
We've exploded since then, yeah.
You've been a part of the ride that whole time, and I think there's a little bit of a lack of knowledge about just how diverse the energy mix is in the U.S. And I'm curious to hear more about the hydrogen project, what we're calling green hydrogen. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, it's green hydrogen because we're using excess renewable energy that there isn't a demand for at certain times in the evenings. And
right, it would be wasted otherwise.
It'd be wasted otherwise, exactly. Yeah. It wouldn't be utilized, and we're utilizing that to generate hydrogen, and then storing that hydrogen as a fuel to be used for, in this particular case, for 2 very modern, high-tech gas turbines in a combined cycle mode across the street with Intermountain Power Company, which is an old coal mine that is scheduled to be shut down. And so now they've pivoted and put in these Mitsubishi 501J gas turbines in combined cycle that can run on hydrogen, not completely on hydrogen.
Yeah.
They're going to start out with, I think, 5% or 10% of a mixture of natural gas and hydrogen.
Yeah.
But with the goal and with the understanding that they will transition to 100% hydrogen by year 2045.
I mean, that's pretty cool to me, hearing taking a coal plant and essentially retrofitting it for this new technology. It's not something that I think gets talked about as the innovation. Obviously, we've moved away a lot from coal to natural gas, and we're trying to reduce carbon emissions, all those things. But there are new technologies and even more in the future. But this is a cool thing, turning a coal plant that would have been shut down and being able to use green hydrogen. It's a big deal.
It is. No, it is very much so. And it's great for the community too, because they're going to continue to staff this new plant even as they shut down the coal plant.
Yeah.
So fewer people, but some of them are actually coming over and working at the hydrogen facility that we're operating. We haven't actually taken care, custody, and control of the facility. We're hoping to do that as early as the end of this month, and may end up taking it over actually before all of the performance testing and all of the EPC guarantees have been completed. So there's some discussion and negotiation going on there to see whether or not that can happen. We're excited to do that. We've been in this mobilization phase for about 2 years now, and we're just very excited to actually get into a production phase.
Yeah.
And be producing and having complete care, custody, and control of the facility.
Do you foresee more of that in the future? More hydrogen plants? I mean, how many facilities
I do. This one's very unique because of its location. It's just super well suited for where it's at. We had the need first we had the infrastructure of Intermountain Power's substation, the infrastructure of having their gas turbines there that can use hydrogen as a fuel. So that was there. The demand was there for the use of hydrogen. And then just the geography of that particular area, having all of these vast salt caverns that could be debrined of the salt and making room for the hydrogen storage, just made it a perfect location for building what is, I believe, the largest in the United States of this size, hydrogen generation facility of this size.
Yeah.
So really exciting.
Pretty impressive.
That. Yeah. I think this is the first of potentially others and stuff, but it does take, the locations are going to have to be, really scrutinized very closely.
Right.
Do they have the infrastructure in place already there? Do they have a place where the hydrogen can be stored?
Right.
If you think about the siting of wind sites, it's got to have a certain amount of wind and stuff in order to make it viable to actually, place the site there. So there's a lot of, a lot of research and stuff that goes into and studies that need to be done in order to decide whether or not it makes sense and stuff to put a wind site in a particular area.
And with a lot of these natural energy sources, part of the problem is there's not always wind, there's not always sunlight.
Right.
And so hydrogen kind of comes in to fill that gap to actually be able to store some of that unused power. Is that the idea?
Yeah, no, it is the idea. And it's similar really with regards to teaming up bulk electric storage systems, batteries effectively along with solar, so that you have a little bit more continuity, that you have stored power with battery systems in order to to utilize it, have reliable power available when you need it during the demand, where you don't always know that that's the case with regards to either solar, as you'd mentioned, and with wind.
Yeah. Since you've had such a, wealth of knowledge and seen kind of NAES from near the beginning to now, do you have foresight for the future? I mean, where we're headed, it seems like coal's kind of coming offline, and we're trying to get as much at it as possible. What do you see some of these big changes and big shifts coming in the future?
I think we've known for the last 10 years or so and stuff, coal, solid fuel plants and stuff have been in the decline. That may be, there may be a little blip where it comes back up from
just for the need.
This current, no, there's a need for sure. Yeah. And then this current administration's push and stuff for coal power as well. But I don't see that as rebounding in any strong sense, just because the economics aren't there. Because solar and battery and wind and other renewables and hydrogen and stuff are all becoming more and more economical and commercially viable, and are even cheaper at times and stuff than. At most times than coal is. Yeah. Historically at NAES, again, the market changes, like with every company and stuff. Combined cycle gas plants, followed by solid fuel plants, lots of reciprocating engines, and then we started getting the renewables started taking off and became less and less expensive and more prevalent in the market.
With some of these generators, I mean, parts are hard to come by right now.
Very hard to come by, yeah.
And things like solar continues to get cheaper, although it's not as easy as plug and play with the way that things are set up. We need that always on. And so, what do you foresee is the solution? Do we just kind of have to wait until that manufacturing pipeline picks back up and we can start putting more of these, generators into the mix, or where are we at with that?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of back orders and stuff for all of the, the heavy duty gas turbine plants, the large gas turbine machines, probably in the order of 5 years and stuff before you're going to get any of those. So you've probably seen and stuff with all of the build out for these large data centers and the power plants that are put in order to support them, they're turning to what's available on the market. And that is
some that may not be as efficient as the most modern.
For sure. Not as efficient. Definitely not as efficient. Much smaller turbines, ones that you would, might have typically purchased to do, maybe, little power plant at a university or to support a large building. So some of these are,
just whatever they can get their hands on.
5 megawatt, machines, very, very small ones that we don't actually, NAES doesn't have a lot of experience operating. Not that they're any more complicated or different than the larger ones. In fact, probably simpler.
Sure.
But we haven't done that because it's never been economical to have power plants like that of this scale, utilizing 10, 20, 30, 50, little micro turbines, we'll call them.
But now you could say the economics, because of AI, because there's so much money there that
there's so much
they just
money
need the energy.
Yep.
And that gives opportunity for us, and been around so long, that is there a company that really knows even just the different array of technologies, but especially the combined cycle side is they need more people, they need more parts and as much energy produced as possible. So I guess we're filling that void.
Yeah, no, for sure we are.
With some of these plants, it may not require as many people, but safety is still obviously really important. I wonder, how does that factor in at different sites, from solar or wind or some of these others? How do we continue to prioritize safety in that way?
I think safety has become even more prevalent and more in the light, as it should be and stuff. And it is different for each of these different plants. The safety concerns, like at a solar plant, are significant. People don't think about it, but there is a lot of potential and stuff. Yes, it's DC, and people are used to, I can work on my car battery and I'm never going to get a shock type of thing. Sure. But there is a potential there and stuff to kill people and stuff, and working on these systems. And so we have to really, really be focused on that. And it's particularly hard because the staffing is so low at some of these sites compared to the amount of equipment that is being looked after.
Fewer eyes on it.
Yeah, there's fewer eyes on it. It's more difficult to get the 2 or 3 men necessary to safely isolate something to verify that there is no energy or energy potential left and stuff. When you only have one person on call, well, how do you do that?
Yeah,
and stuff.
Absolutely.
So it really does bring a focus to it.
Yeah, it's more than just cleaning off the solar panels. It's there's the conversion of it, and one thing goes wrong, and you have that. In some of these cases, I imagine you don't need more than 1 or 2 people, and that's maybe one person has an off day. There's obviously risk there.
Yeah, no, there is.
So you've been at NAES all these years, and I wonder, what has made you stay?
I love the company. As I'd mentioned before, the diversity with new clients, new technologies has made it interesting for me. I've never seen the need to move on. I've also always felt supported and stuff by management and my peers. So it's, while it's a lot larger now, and I used to know everybody in the company and be able to, and know their families and stuff, that's not quite the same now, but it does still have a family feel to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And it feels like home. So I've never felt the need to look elsewhere and move on. And so I'm quite happy here, and I will retire from here.
Yeah, I think the sentiments like that, with a lot of people we talk to, is just and I've been here almost 5 years now, and that's my feeling, is it's kind of hard to leave.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, thanks so much for your time, and it was fun talking through this stuff, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, Josh.